Are you familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs? If not, look it up. I've recently been referencing our existence as a pyramid. We've got government on the top, and we've got the basic workers that are typically never mentioned, that keep the economy flowing on a very consistent basis, and give reason for a lot of worldly purposes, right? So we get a whole system that seems to be happening. We get crushed here at the bottom while they sit up there saying that they're finding us answers, and progress is always still more gracious to them, it seems. Anyway, long story short, I've been comparing the two pyramids, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs with our worldly existence. So if you think about it, at the top sits ego in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the top sits politicians. Can you see the comparison? Because I certainly can. They may reference it as because they've got this or they've got that or whatever the case, whatever reasons they give, they're the ones that's got the right answers. Okay, so yes, they've got a different perspective. They're looking at other things. There are other countries, and we don't really know exactly what the matrix of that situation is supposed to be. It's who's keeping who happy for what reasons, and why are we taking bribes? I'd be curious, because in a sense, even if it's not directly those words, the patterns, the physics, the symbolism to it, it all could relate to what I'm saying. So anyway, and at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, recently I'm finding it without, so food, shelter, water, air, those sort of things, right? But they also had included sex. But then if you think about it, sex is one of those items that can be manipulated through emotion, right? So it seems strings, puppeteers in play kind of thing. And we always seem interdependent. Why are we always so interdependent? What's going on there? We're very interdependent. And at the bottom, alongside those basic things, your food, your shelter, your water, your air, when I look at it to the pyramid of our worldly existence, we've got our fast food workers, we've got our garbage men, we've got our retail workers, we've got a lot of basics, right? So it's and we kind of go hand in hand because we've been stereotyped as a lot of right judgment goes in effect with, and so on. We're complete. And if you look at a lot of what physics tries to explain and how they connect God, and they talk of the Fibonacci sequence, there's a lot to consider here. But yes, so as I was looking at the pyramid, I was even trying to break it down. Being at the top could be looked at, it's also looked at as achievement, right? So if you're climbing, you're going for achievement. It can be looked at, that achievement can be looked at as godly, and then becomes your ego. And where's the security in all of this? What could bring us more security in this system that we have? Well, if you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's a lot of other sections in the center that climb you there, and it all makes sense. It makes perfect sense. But where are we seeing those existences in the way that we communicate and run our world? Does that mean we have hope?